has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast, in the biggest way possible, hanging out. The bass eater, broken eater, bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live off the French Quarter in New Orleans for Super Bowl 59 at Radio Row in Nolens, and also live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake it up should do be. With Carver High, the Tutty and Tater King himself, the Put It With the Golf guru, the rights holder of the Sheet of Integrity, and of course the founder of the ILC podcast, Carver High this afternoon, ladies. Mafia is here with me in New Orleans. He's hungover. Of course, Luke, I am your father, is back in New York as well. Here is my main man, Alex, who is carrying Carver High. Look at this. The Bundesliga trophy from the German Soccer League. I mean, this is a beauty. Look at this stunning dish of love. This trophy. Oh, my God, it's magnificent. It's so beautiful. I don't even want to touch it. I might jinx myself.
You can touch
now,
it
listen,
if you want.
Listen, this is the greatest thing. Look at this. Bayern Munich, all these teams. Schalke, looking 04. I got all of these. Dortmund, the black and yellow of Dortmund, like the Steelers.
This year as well, the most recent title.
Is that
24?
Which one?
Bayer Leverkusen, right?
Leverkusen.
Yeah.
They got involved in 24. This is the original trophy.
It is.
This is the trophy that they give the winning team when they win the title. Absolutely. I got to tell you, when COVID went down, I watched Bundesliga. It was the only thing going on in the world that mattered.
Correct.
And I became a huge fan of it.
Love it. Yeah, we were the first league back, and now we're here for the first time at Radio Row with the trophy as well.
I think that's awesome. That is magnificent. Yeah. Most people have no clue what that is when you walk around.
Exactly. But it's big and shiny, so people get interested.
But, I mean, it's like something like Caesar would have. It like Caesar's Palace, right, in Rome. Like, this is like, that's like the coolest trophy because you got the Lombardi, you got the Stanley Cup. Yep. You know, I think the Stanley Cup, the ice hockey one, is the coolest. This is so unique and beautiful. Are these like
emeralds?
Oh, my God, those green emeralds. Carver High, it's like from the Emerald Isle. These emeralds on this Bundesliga trophy are absolutely unbelievable. How did you get this gig?
So I work for the Bundesliga. I'm from England, but I've worked for the Bundesliga for 10 years.
Wow.
And we have a partnership with the NFL, and we thought, let's go all out, bring this baby over.
My nephew lives in London.
Amazing.
And he was supposed to come to my house in New York City Saturday to watch the Super Bowl and party with me.
Right.
His nickname's Car Bomb, we call him, because when we take him out, we get him so drunk we have to roll him down the driveway. But he didn't man up. He's not coming. He got the flu, so he's not coming. I said, don't bring the flu to my house. Stay away from me. But that's the only relative I have that lives in England, in London.
Okay.
He loves London.
Okay, yeah, London's amazing.
He's a financial guy. He's a thief. He actually robs banks. I'm just kidding.
We all try to.
He's into finance. Like he's either he likes to work in London or in Wall Street.
Sure.
But he's a huge Man U fan in the Premier League.
Right.
Carver High, tell my man Alex here about your Huddersfield Town team. Tell him about who your favorite team is.
Huddersfield Town, who unfortunately has fallen a couple divisions now. They're in League One. But they were in the Premier League, I guess, 6 or 7 years ago. But now they've got themselves, they got to climb their way back up to the top, of course, Town. So good to see. That is a tremendous trophy. Nice job by you guys out there.
And who do you root for now in the Premier League or in the Bundesliga? Because I like Bayern Munich. I was watching Bayern Munich when they won every game for like 30 straight years. They didn't lose a game for 30 years.
When Huddersfield is not in the Premier League, I root for Newcastle. When Huddersfield is not in the Premier League.
Newcastle. Which is also a decent beer when you think about it.
Absolutely, some good beer.
So they have great beer in the Bundesliga at the games, and they let the fans chug beer.
Absolutely.
I've been to Germany. I went to Frankfurt, and I went to Berlin.
Sure.
I drank so much. It was unbelievable. I'm still hungover from when I went. Alex, it's good to meet you, man.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for showing us this great Bundesliga trophy. It's just a beauty. Honestly, that's better looking than my wife.
Thank you for having us on.
All right, so Frank's going to help you get those off, and it's nice to meet you. Thanks for showing up for us. Carver High, a lot happened last night. Let's start with this. I have to give you you're getting a 5-star review here, Carver High. 5-star review, because I went to the, obviously, I went to the Acme Oyster Bar, right? So I go to the Acme Oyster Bar, and I had 500 grilled oysters. I had 2 full football-sized plates of, how should I say, bang bang shrimp. And I had 15 double rums. And then I had to go for a 2-mile walk down Hell on Earth Street to walk it off. 500 oysters I ate, Carver High, yesterday because you sent me to the Acme, and I literally ate, not only that, I had raw oysters as well to start it off, a 12er. I had a 12er, and then I had 500 grilled oysters. The grilled oysters, I have to say, Carver High, were better than sex.
You got the char grilled. You got those char grilled ones that they got there.
Yeah, char grilled.
That's the great. Now, did you get a spot at the bar or did you get a table? What did you get when you get a spot at the bar or the table? What'd you get?
I got a spot at the bar, and my man Billy set us up. I gave him a cash advance because I wanted to get Mafia filled up and drunk. So I gave him a cash advance to get him interested in us. And then I gave him a fat tip on the way out.
Nice.
So we ate about $200 worth of oysters and drank a lot of booze. And then Mafia took me to the oldest bar in the United States from like 1783, and it was called the Blacksmith. And there's a lot of famous people that went in there: Ali, Gandolfini, James Caan, you name it. They were all in this place. And I was there with it. I had one tied on. I had a 15-bagger going, and I took it to 20. and then I limped back to the hotel, and I watched the game late and called it a night. But I give you a 5-star review for the Acme Oyster Bar. And I ran into JJ there and your boy, Cousin Sal.
I saw the picture of you guys. I saw you find him right there in the Acme Oyster House. And listen, you know where the good spots are right there. I actually have another one for you, whether you're going to, if you want to go tonight. I've got one other spot that I
Send it down right now. Send it down.
Which is
I want in. I want to know.
So GW Fins is the other spot, which was excellent. We went there for cousin Sean's wedding. Was over by GW Fins there. So that's another good spot.
You got to text it to me. Once you text it to me, then I'm able to. Yeah, there you go. Then I'm able to manipulate it and find my way there.
Okay. Now, obviously, there's a lot going on. You're there. You'll have plenty of stuff happening with Super Bowl week. The NBA trade deadline just completed 10 minutes ago. At some point today, we'll go through all of this stuff because a lot's happened since I left you yesterday, whether it's Butler going to the Warriors, the Lakers making this huge trade last night for Mark Williams and sending Connect and Reddish to the Hornets. But this is the stuff really just flying in the last few minutes. Hawks, DeAndre Hunter to the Cavs. The Clippers got Bogdanovich from the Hawks. The Grizzlies just sent Marcus Smart to the Wizards. So that might be them clearing some money there. There's a lot of NBA trade stuff that's happening.
I remember when Marcus Smart played in the 80s. When is the last time that guy played basketball? He doesn't matter anymore.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
You want me to solve all this tush-push and fourth down malarkey that goes on with the officials? Here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass in the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop you back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush-push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes, end of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Is it just a matter of his contract, his age? I mean, usually things like this get fixed pretty quickly, but this one is not fixed, and now it's just super uncomfortable.
The opportunity or the idea of getting another team involved adds more complication to the situation, and it doesn't seem like a resolution is anywhere in sight, but the more suspensions come in, the more it's clear that the saga is over, or his time there is over.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, back in New Orleans at Radio Row. It's Ferrall Coast to Coast on Thursday afternoon here in Nolans. And Carver High has sent me to a fantastic oyster bar, the stuff of legend. By the way, I sent you a story today. Did you see it, Carver High? I sent you a story of the greatest things to eat in New Orleans. It wasn't the greatest restaurants. It was the greatest things to eat. And in that list of greatest things to eat in New Orleans, Acme Oyster Bar and their grilled oysters made the list. I don't know if you saw that. That's why I sent it to you. It was one of the 15 best things to eat in New Orleans. Well, I ate 500 of them last night, and I have to say I recovered nicely because when you eat 500 of anything, there should be some toilet time involved, and there wasn't. And I also there was massive drinking, and there was no repercussions. I woke up like a man. I went to the gym. I came here early. I interviewed people I didn't like. I had PR people that bothered me that I didn't like. It was fantastic. And then here we are. And I will say this. They finally got rid of the malcontent, Jimmy Butler, and he went to the Warriors. I can't wait to see him get along with Draymond Green and Steve Kerr. Let's see if Kerr's going to put up with his shenanigans in San Francisco, Mike.
Yeah, it is funny. We spent all that time talking about how he didn't want to go there. He didn't want to sign a deal. I guess 2 years and $120 million will change your mind, huh? Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 years and $120 mil. Can't complain about that if you're Jimmy. So, and I'm going to play you later on this clip of Steph Curry. He looked like Kyrie, the clip I played yesterday. You talk about a guy who looks miserable because Steph knows what he's got to deal with now. He's got to deal with this guy coming into town. I'm surprised. He looks so – look at this full trade. Now, this whole trade, these are the full details of it. Give me 1 second here because a lot of stuff has actually happened since this for it. So this is the entire deal. Butler goes to, of course, the Warriors. He signs it. The Heat get Wiggins, Tucker, and a protected first. Pistons get Waters and Richardson. Jazz get Schroeder. Raptors get Kyle Anderson. The Jazz have already sent Schroeder to Detroit. The Heat have already sent P.J. Tucker to Toronto for Davion Mitchell.
Right.
So there's already a couple guys in that deal who have been bounced all over the place as well.
I got to tell you, and this is just me because I don't know anything, and I know I'm an idiot. But fair enough. I just do not believe for the life of me that Jimmy Butler's worth $60 million a year. I'm sorry, man. That dude is a coach, GM, president, teammate, killer. He's an assassin. He is literally a sniper for people's careers, and he's a home wrecker. He'll destroy your own home, your own family, and then you got the gall to give that guy $60 million per. And remember, I firmly believe, without a doubt, he's going down the other side of the mountain. Where's all those titles he was supposed to win? Didn't he go to the finals? We'll be back. We're gonna go back and do it again. Yeah, and he never won. He never got it done, did he? Never got it done. Now you're telling me with his painful ass in San Francisco that old man Dre Green and old man Steph Curry and going down the other side of the mountain, Jimmy Butler. Now, I know everyone thinks Jimmy Butler's the greatest player on earth. I'm sorry, I don't. I think he's more interested in himself than he is team and teammates and winning ball. I think he's all about Jimmy. And all about Jimmy's hairdo, and all about Jimmy's drip, and all about Jimmy's happiness and his, home life. I don't give a rat's ass about his family or his home life or anything else. I need ballers that want a ball, that want to have team first. Not me, I. And then you give him $121 million. It's like dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight, honestly, giving that guy the same thing. I'm going to say the same thing. MB, they gave him $200 million, and he never plays. And he's all about himself, too. He's another one, never plays, and it's all about him. And he cussed out the fans in Philadelphia and gave him the business and all the rest. Butler and Embiid should be lovers.
He's 35 right now. He'll be 36 in September, Jimmy Butler. I mean, so think about that. He just signed 2 extra years at $60 million per, and he's going to be 36, 37 years old on both of those years. That just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, look,
to me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Guys are, you have LeBron being 40, but he is in a different realm. Physically speaking, he's in a different realm. I think he's taking better care of himself in his career than Jimmy Butler has. So, to me, Jimmy Butler, looks like he's 40, plays like he's 40, and LeBron James plays like he's still 32.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't disagree with you there. When you start talking about guys, and Curry's up there as well, when you start to get into all this stuff. So not interesting there. Now, the Lakers did make that other deal. Yes, go ahead.
Curry, one thing, Mike, Curry can shoot in his sleep. He'll be able to shoot when he's 75 years old. Still, he'll be able to knock down threes in his driveway when he's got grandchildren. But here's the deal. And people aren't going to like when I say this, but I think it's true. He is a dynamic handle and shooter. To me, he's the greatest 2 ever. He just gets open and knocks down bombs. And then for my money, he reminds me of my daughter. He and she do nothing else. That's all he does is shoot. That's all he does. What else does he do? Does he He doesn't play defense or do anything like that, does he? Doesn't rebound, do anything like that. He comes off screens and shoots. He doesn't set screens. He runs around, gets open, and shoots and fires threes. And he's incredible. There's no denying how incredible he is. But I'm not a fan. He's got all his rings. I think those days are over. I don't think he's winning a ring with Jimmy Butler just shooting threes. And I think Draymond Green is Draymond Green's 45, his body. He looks like a old graybeard. He's like a pirate.
Steph will be 37 in March. They're not winning anything with this group. Steph and Butler and they're not winning a thing.
Hey, do you see all the powerful suits over my shoulder? I think I got to step this way. Look at all the powerful suits. Those are the owners and the CEO, right?
finally here. The big game is just days away, and SportsGrid is live from New Orleans all week long, bringing you the latest news, insights, and analysis from the biggest names in the game. And on game day, we've got you covered all day long with expert picks, live odds, and everything you need to make the most out of the biggest game of the year. Don't miss a second, and it's all happening only on SportsGrid.
Best dressed guy, let me tell you, next to me in terms of Radio Row. I want to get your thoughts quickly on the game, Philly and KC. How do you see it playing out?
Obviously you got Patrick Mahomes, who just finds a way to win. Then you got on the other side of the table an alien, and Barkley. I mean, he's had an incredible year.
Right.
I think whoever has the balls last is going to win the football game.
Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
As you know, Carver High, we're at Radio Row in New Orleans. If you noticed, I didn't introduce the litany of guests that we have allegedly lined up for this show this afternoon. Like yesterday or whatever, day before, you introduce all these people early in the show, and then due to scheduling conflicts, there's thousands of networks and shows here that are interviewing these people as they roll around the Radio Row, the convention center. So you never know when these guests are going to show up at these interviews. So I have moved into a position of promoting no one. I have now decided, Carver High, to promote no one, because if they show up, we'll have a great interview. As you know, we'll bang it out. Everybody will be happy. We'll promote them. We'll talk to them. We'll interview them, and it'll be Gandhi. But promoting them prior to an arrival is like, not telling people at the airport what gate they're leaving from. I mean, I feel like, promoting them is a waste of time, so I'm not going to do that. So you take me wherever you want to go until these individuals show up. I'm not going to promote anyone. Although I did do some funny interviews today. I don't know if I mentioned that. And I dressed down some PR chick who interview ruiner. She was an interview wrecker. She walked into the interview to tell the guy that, and I won't say who, to tell him that he had to go somewhere else and do another interview. So she walked right into the middle of the camera, right into the middle of the set, right into the middle of the interview to tell him he had to leave. So I ruined her life and her day, and I put her in her place, and I felt good doing it. And Frank enjoyed it as well, and so did Mafia. And I was funny, and I was not mean, and I didn't hurt her feelings. She didn't cry, because, I've made people cry in the past in my career, and it got me in all kinds of trouble. Remember, they sent me to anger management because I made some chick cry. I can make people cry, as you know. A lot like if you did a stare down and who blinks first, same kind of thing. Who can make someone cry first is a new game we're going to play on C2C.
Well, it's not a game that we want to play all the time, but if you're playing that today, I can't wait to see that, how all that went down. I figured I'll finish, since we have some time right now, and you've talked already about Butler, I figured I'd finish that off by giving you Steph, who, as I said, we played Kyrie Irving yesterday. He looked miserable. Steph looked pretty miserable last night after they lost to the Jazz, and they found out that he was going to have Jimmy Butler on his team.
We know who Jimmy is. We've been in 2 finals. He's a winner. I understand there's a lot of drama down there, and who really knows what the story is. We expect to have a motivated, committed, Jimmy that's ready to impact our team for the better. Got to work out the kinks of what it looks like, and I'm excited to get to work.
Sure,
and,
sure you are.
He sounds excited.
Kind of feed off the energy of something new, and somebody that's obviously had experience at the highest of levels, has a lot to prove, in a new situation, and we're going to try to help each other do that.
Yeah,
that's a nice way of saying. That's a nice way of saying he's been a complete asshat everywhere he's been, and he's a me, I, prima donna team wrecker, and he's the Antichrist with management. He took on Pat Riley and made a fool of himself, I feel, and now they're getting him. So basically, what they're getting, they say. One man's trash is another's gold, except in this case, one team's trash is now your trash because he's still trash. And he just said it. He's competed at the highest level, but he doesn't win at the highest level. He goes to the highest level and loses. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? No.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
And that guy, Curry, does win. Curry is a champion. Curry's got all the rings. He's got it all. He's got the gold medals, too. And the bottom line is that Butler has just been a pain in the ass. That's all he is.
That's all he is, and that's all it is. I can't wait to see him all of a sudden show up to work and start playing. I will give you a recap of all the other deals, and I want to hear also next time me and you have time together, whether it's next or later, I want to know what you thought about the Laker trade late last night.
I love
getting
it.
Williams from Charlotte and sending Connect and some future pieces. That is a young, athletic big to put with LeBron and Luka. So we'll talk about that later also.
No doubt.
It's finally here. The big game is just days away, and SportsGrid is live from New Orleans all week long, bringing you the latest news, insights, and analysis from the biggest names in the game. And on game day, we've got you covered all day long, with expert picks, live odds, and everything you need to make the most out of the biggest game of the year. Don't miss a second, and it's all happening only on SportsGrid.
Best dressed guy, let me tell you, next to me in terms of Radio Row. I want to get your thoughts quickly on the game, Philly and KC. How do you see it playing out?
Obviously you got Patrick Mahomes, who just finds a way to win. Then you got on the other side of the table an alien, and Barkley. I mean, he's had an incredible year.
Right.
I think whoever has the balls last is going to win the football game.
Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
back at Radio Row in New Orleans near the French Quarter as everyone's stoked for Sunday, Eagles and Chiefs. And we've been doing the show here all week. We'll do another show tomorrow from here to wrap it up from Bourbon Street and Super Bowl 59. But we'll play it by ear with our guests this afternoon that are scheduled to be here, and some make it, some don't. It's chaos, as you can see. But it's a really cool thing, and I think we're doing great stuff down here with SportsGrid. We've had fantastic shows, both coast to coast and on the network level. We're having a great time. A lot of big guests and celebrities stopping through the SportsGrid digs and set up here where we're stationed at the convention center. I will say this about the Mark Williams trade. I think they got a legitimate long big. He's a violent center who is very physical. And, it's funny. He's literally got, like, the length of Wembanyama's arms, his reach, his draw. Like, his arm span is like an airplane wing. The guy isn't as big, but he has arms that are as long. Like, this guy's arms literally dangle to the floor. Like, he literally has arms that go down to the basketball court. And he can block shots, and he can rebound, and he can bang. He's very violent and physical, and that's exactly what they needed. And he's young. He's not some old washed-up guy. Like, if they would have gotten, Nurkic or someone like that, even Valanciunas, I'm sorry. Those dudes are white, slow, fat, and old. And this guy's a young piece. He's a legit 5. And I think, frankly, Pelinka, it's unbelievable. They got Luka Doncic, and then they get Mark Williams. I mean, they are good to go. And they've been playing good ball lately, Mike.
Yeah, I think it changes the opinion of all. Remember, me and you didn't think this on Monday, but you had all the people doing they're not going to win now this year. This is a move for the future, and they're not. They changed all that. They have a team that can compete to get out of the West and maybe win all day. Like that, adding this guy, if he's good, they got a couple decent guys on the bench now. I know you like Connect when the Lakers drafted him and the things that he does, but this is a win now and win in the future type of move that the Lakers couldn't pass up. I don't blame them, even though they had to give up Connect, who's very promising.
Well said, Mike. And look, as far as Dalton Connect is concerned, I'm disappointed from the standpoint of I actually liked him in that set with the guys that he was balling with and the burn he got and the minutes that he got. I thought that he was perfect in Los Angeles with the Lakers, and that he could learn from LeBron and AD and everybody at the time that he was playing with, right? I think it's got to be tough to go to Charlotte. It's going to be a big difference playing at the Spectrum in Charlotte as opposed to, playing at the Crypt in Lipstick City. Playing for the Lakers is showtime. Playing for Charlotte it's kind of like getting a stretch at Leavenworth. I mean, it's like prison. Let's just face facts. But I'll say this. On the bright side of that is LaMelo Ball. I believe that LaMelo Ball knows how to find that guy shots. He knows how to get him looks. And he's going to score a lot for the Hornets. Do you remember when they had scary Terry Rozier, who's now become the probe of gambling that they're looking into? But when he was a baller, when he flat out balled, because I never thought he played in Miami. I never thought he did anything with the Heat. He did everything. He made all that money and did everything with the Hornets, right? And I thought when they had Rozier scoring 30 a night in Charlotte, 25, 30 a night in Charlotte when he was a baller, when he didn't have all this side nonsense going on and distractions and trouble and problems. I actually think that this kid Connect will fill that void that they've always had without him. They've never had a pure scorer without Rozier. Now they got one. This guy can flat out ball. He can shoot from deep. He can shoot from logos. He can shoot from corner pockets and wings. He can flat out score. And when you play the way LaMelo Ball does, rip and run and gun, and find that open look shot. Like, he can blind eye flip a ball over his shoulder to a guy in the corner. He does it all the time for buckets. I think that Connect and LaMelo Ball are going to actually put on a show in Charlotte. I don't think it's going to be fun for him at first. I think it's going to be culture shock for Dalton in Charlotte at the beginning. But remember, he does know the area. I mean, let's face facts. It's like an hour from Knoxville. He played in Knoxville. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. He played in that region, in that area, in, the SEC and everything. He knows North Carolina basketball, let's just say, right? He's played in a lot of games there. So I think that he'll adjust. I think it'll be a little bit of culture shock at first, though.
I agree with you on all that. It'll be a good move for them down the road. The Pelicans sent Brandon Ingram to Toronto. Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, a first-rounder and a second-rounder going back. Ingram to the Raptors, who have been playing pretty well. They've added a couple pieces. He'll be there for a while. They're going to sign him long-term.
Listen, I've always liked his game. I think he can score ad nauseum. Whenever he wants, he can make a bucket come to life. He always looks sleepy, tired, bored, not interested, but that's not who he is. He can ball. He can flat-out play. There's no getting around it. I think that he's probably not – my guess is I don't think he was happy here. Besides maybe the food and the jazz, I don't think he was that happy here. But I'm guessing he's bummed out that he's getting shipped off to Toronto, to be honest with you. But on the bright side, like you said, they have some young guns and some talent. That 5 now up there in Toronto is actually somewhat legit. They got some guy, R.J. Barrett, Barnes. Now you add B.I. I think they're suddenly kind of vogue. They got a team now with some guys that can flat out play. I think Toronto's going to be sneaky good if you can keep him happy. So I think the only way to keep people happy is to give them large bags of money.
That is usually the only way that we keep people happy, especially guys like Jimmy Butler. You give them large bags of money, large truckloads, sacks full of money, and suddenly everybody is very happy about the situation. Hawks have really emptied the cupboard today. They have gotten rid of a lot of guys. DeAndre Hunter to the Cavs for Karis LeVert, George Niang, and 3 second-round picks. So the Cavs, who have played very well, now you put Hunter on the Cavs, and they're the best team in the East so far.
Yeah, I mean, and, the thing about Hunter, I think what they wanted there was his defense. This guy is a great defender, right? And then, I think people think that they're going to pike in the playoffs. That this great offensive juggernaut that wins all these games, and they've done it with Garland and Mitchell and Mobley, right, and Allen going off and scoring in droves. They outscore everybody, they outrun everybody, they outwork everybody on the offensive end. But what happens in the playoffs? It becomes a half-court game. It becomes the attrition game and who can play defense. And I think that's why they got him. So, I think it's a good move to add a piece like that, somebody that can play both ends of the floor, and particularly the defensive end.
No doubt. I have a couple of other smaller deals that I will get to you. I will let you know. Nikolai Højgaard leading at the Waste Management right now, 6 under. Justin Thomas, Scotty, who we have, of course.
That's
great
your guy.
for him on round 1, 5 under. Awesome opening round. We've got a lot of guys out on the course. The afternoon wave is there. Can we get a hole-in-one today on 16? That would be very helpful as well at some point here out at the People's Open, TPC Scottsdale.
The Bourbon Street Open.
Best dressed guy, let me tell you, next to me in terms of Radio Row. I want to get your thoughts quickly on the game, Philly and KC. How do you see it playing out?
You know, obviously you got Patrick Mahomes, who just finds a way to win. Then you got on the other side of the table an alien, and Barkley. I mean, he's had an incredible year.
Right.
I think whoever has the balls last is going to win the football game.
Only on SportsGrid.
I have no idea how to categorize what Mavericks GM Nico Harrison pulled off, Joe. All I know is that he shipped off Luka Doncic without telling Luka about it.
If you thought conditioning was a problem for Luka, wait until you get a load of Anthony Davis tripping over air and then missing 40 games because he's like Glass Joe's.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, back at Radio Row in New Orleans, we've been talking about some of the player movement as the deadline went down today. I think it just ended at the top of the hour, all the trades that have been going on. You know, I saw that one Carver High Jericho Sims deal to the Bucks as part of the Middleton deal. Can you imagine Middleton wins a ring there? And now he's going to play in D.C. with that crappy Wizards team. And I thought it was funny when I saw Kuzma say that he taught the Wizards how to win, and now he's going to do the same thing in Milwaukee. Meanwhile, they never won when he was there at all, ever. And then Jericho Sims, he should be playing with me on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday morning, like down at the rec league that I play in with all the retired D1 and NBA guys, because he sucks. I don't care what anybody says. That guy sucks. He's awful.
How can
he should be in the NFL.
Now, I thought he had to be kidding when he said, I taught them how to win, right? He couldn't be serious with that comment that he made.
I think he was.
Kuzma. They're 9-41.
Yeah.
And they've won 3 in a row. They were 6-41 a week ago. They've actually won 3 games in a row. I know he won there last night. That's a tough
They're on a
comment
heater.
from him. They're on a heater, 3 in a row for the Wiz, as they've been taking care of business. You mentioned Sims, whatever. The Clippers trade Bones Island and Terrence Mann to the Hawks as they get Bogdanovich and 3 second-rounders. Bogdanovich. So you were talking about Bogdanovich the other day. We were somebody was the Suns. Somebody were looking for him. He ends up at the Clippers as they try to. The Hawks have ripped it all down, and they don't even have their first-round pick. The Spurs have the Hawks' first-round pick this year if it starts to go really south for them.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. I lived in Atlanta 3 times, and now he's going to live in Los Angeles and play for the Clippers at the brand-new Intuit Dome in Inglewood. So he's going to apply his trade out in Lipstick City and live in Southern California. And I would guess, being that he's going to play in Inglewood, he'll be somewhere south of, Long Beach, like in Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, somewhere like that, somewhere really swanky like that, right? And I can guarantee you it's going to be better than living in Atlanta. Okay, Atlanta's a hardcore city, and he's traveled more than an airline. I mean, honestly, this guy Bogdanovich, he's moved around like FedEx boxes. So he really,
him and the brother,
both
they
of
move
them.
around.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, I don't know one from the other. Like, you know what I mean?
There's Bogey and Boyan. Boyan been in the. He's been hiding in Brooklyn all year, but Bogey now heading out west. to L.A. to be with the Clippers. Unbelievable.
I'd just be happy living out west compared to Atlanta. It's listen, no disrespect. I like Atlanta, but I know a lot of people that don't. You know what I mean? Like I got a lot of people I know that don't like it, and then I actually like it as I lived there 3 times. I like Atlanta, but I like Southern California 1,000 times better. I mean, I left Atlanta for San Francisco and then L.A., and I wouldn't go back to Atlanta. And I love Atlanta, I really do, but I'm never going to live there again. It's not going to happen, no matter what. Like, no matter what, it's just not happening again. I can guarantee it.
There's a big difference between Atlanta and Southern California. There's quite a
Believe
difference.
me.
So your boy
There's all
Bogey.
kinds of reasons why it's different.
Yeah, there's several indeed. Suns finally got rid of Nurkic. They said Nurkic and a first rounder to Charlotte for Cody Martin, Micic, and a second rounder. So they haven't even been playing Nurkic. They just wanted to get him off the team, and they were able to do that. The Raptors sent Davion Mitchell to the Heat for PJ Tucker. Of course, Tucker went there in that other deal. Schroeder to Detroit. Man, that's another guy. He's been on like 5 teams in the last week. Schroeder. I mean, what? Well, that's got to be brutal. I say he gets traded to Golden State. Thinks he's going to stay there after Brooklyn.
He's done the Rainbow Tour. He's done the full kaleidoscope Rainbow Tour.
He's played for everybody, but he's helpful to Detroit. It's amazing that nobody keeps him because he's a useful player. I don't understand.
Is that where he ends up? He ended up in Detroit.
Detroit's where it sounds like his final destination is Detroit.
Well, I'll tell you what. I got to be honest with you. I don't really understand that because, I mean, they're young and they've been playing really decent ball for the most part this year, and I don't see why they need some old guard. I mean, let's just face facts. They're young and fast, and they ball out. They're physical. They're violent. Isaiah Stewart will fist fight you. They're different than his style. Like, he's a veteran guard who has played with everybody. What is he going to teach everybody how to ball? Those young dudes, those young cats don't listen to old veterans. They don't. That's people's imagination. They're imagining things that if you think that's going to happen. Like, none of these kids listen to the coach, let alone some veteran player, like, giving them advice.
Nope, nobody does listen to that at all. And the Thunder didn't. This isn't a trade, but it gets the Thunder going, that's for sure. Chet Holmgren, who's been out since basically the beginning of the season, he is ready to return. Could be back tomorrow night for OKC. That's like the old, it's like making a trade, right? Getting a guy back that hasn't been there all year. And
your
like
boy,
they need his help. Yes.
Your boy Abe Lincoln is back. Listen, I love his game. I think he is a flat-out baller, man. The guy is, I'll give him this. People say he's a telephone pole, whatever. I think he's got handle. He can get space. He's long. He's super 7 foot. He can light you up. I like the way he plays. He finishes. He dunks. He can shoot. He can mid-range. He can go to the 10. He can block shots. He's got, for my money, I'll be honest with you, he's got some moves. Like, he can handle it and get space. He can get his shot off. Like, he can separate, sidestep, drop step. He can drag foot. He can do it all. And he got injured a couple times. He fractured his leg once. And I think that guy Holmgren can play ball, no doubt.
Best dressed guy, let me tell you, next to me in terms of Radio Row. I want to get your thoughts quickly on the game, Philly and KC. How do you see it playing out?
You know, obviously you got Patrick Mahomes, who just finds a way to win. Then you got on the other side of the table an alien, and Barkley. I mean, he's had an incredible year.
Right.
I think whoever has the balls last is going to win the football game.
Only on SportsGrid.
I have no idea how to categorize what Mavericks GM Nico Harrison pulled off, Joe. All I know is that he shipped off Luka Doncic without telling Luka about it.
If you thought conditioning was a problem for Luka, wait until you get a load of Anthony Davis tripping over air and then missing 40 games because he's like Glass Joe's.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Thurminator's here, and it's unbelievable because that guy right there, Carver High, that guy, he looks like Ed Asner from Mary Tyler Moore with that tie loosened, and he looks like he's working in the newsroom. He's the biggest Bills fan on the face of the earth, and he loves the Thurminator. In fact, he had a son. He gave birth to a son, and his wife stopped him, but he was going to name him the Thurminator, and his wife decided Bill was better, William, and the Thurminator was axed in the cutting room floor of the movies. She cut out Thurminator. I was for Thurminator, and then I named his daughter Ray Lewis, and we got that through. But his wife, Hot Nicole, stopped talking to me after that. She hasn't talked to me in 4 years.
Oh, my God.
I thought for a girl, Ray Lewis was a great name.
I tried Thurman.
Because she's a tough little broad.
Wouldn't go for it. But,
Tell him.
I tried, and she preferred. I tried to get Thurman through when little Willie was born, and she was not having any. Because Thurman, what a childhood I had watching you play. Unbelievable. The greatest performance by a running back on a losing effort in a Super Bowl ever was you down in Tampa at 25. You should have won the MVP that day, even though you guys lost. I love you, Thurman. You're the best.
See that?
No.
I mean, you see how much he loves you?
Yeah, I see that. I appreciate that.
Like,
man. That's
he loves you more than his children. And I love the Steelers more than my children.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only known my wife 25 years.
Right.
She's hot. I love her.
Yeah.
But not like I love the Steelers. And those 8 Super Bowl trips.
Yeah,
I love those way better.
I love my former teammates. You know,
that was the greatest team I've ever seen in my life that kicked everyone's ass.
Yeah.
And then
until the last game.
Well, I think God didn't like you guys or something. I think God was in on it because
somebody didn't like us at that point in time.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen a team dominate the NFL. You won every game you played, and then you'd lose the Super Bowl. You won every single game you played.
Okay.
I mean, you guys killed everyone, and then couldn't win the big one.
I tell you what.
That sucked.
If it goes the way I think it should have went,
right?
Like we played our best Super Bowl in the first one against the Giants.
I know.
And we wore our white.
I was there.
We wore our white uniforms. The next 3 we wore them blue ones. It just didn't work.
So when I lose titles, right? I've lost 10 championship games. I've won 12. I'm 12-10. Tell me the truth, because I will be honest with you. The losing sucks so bad. I have to see a shrink. Like, I can't sleep. I can't eat. I get diarrhea. I have nightmares. I have hot flashes. I drive violent. I drive exceeding the speed limit when I lose.
Yeah.
When I'm winning, I drive like Grandpa, drive slow. I take it easy.
Yeah.
When I lose, the losing, you never forget the losses, but you forget all the wins. Like, you can't even remember the wins, but the losses, they haunt you.
They hurt forever.
Forever.
They hurt forever, and now, it's the same thing with the Buffalo Bills today. These losses to the Kansas City Chiefs.
I hate them.
They hurt today.
I won't even talk about them. I don't want to talk. I want to talk about pork rinds.
Okay.
I hate them so much. And the Eagles. I'm from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They're like, why won't you talk about the Eagles this week? I go, F the Eagles. I'm from Pittsburgh. I don't talk about the Eagles. I don't care if they're in the Super. I'm going to go to a movie with my wife. I'm going to try to get laid. I don't have time for the Chiefs winning another Super Bowl. So let's talk about pork rinds, right?
Yeah.
You're having this. You literally are having the 16th annual Pork Rind Day.
Yeah.
Now, what day is this?
Pork rind is February 9th.
So it's the day of the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. So what you do, you can go to porkrinds.com, enter to win 2 Super Bowl tickets for next year's Super Bowl
in San Francisco,
in Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Airfare, hotel taken care of.
Whoa.
And probably the most important thing out of that is that you get a year's supply of pork rinds.
It's the Crunch Time sweepstakes at porkrinds.com. I'm 6'4", 240. If I ate pork rinds every single day until next year's Super Bowl, and I see you at the Super Bowl, I guarantee you, and Carver High, I'll be 275.
275.
Give me some.
I don't even think you'll let yourself get that way. No, you won't.
Oh, yeah, I will. Listen,
no, you won't.
Last night I ate 500 grilled oysters and had 15 rums. I'm old. I already had open heart surgery. I'm allowed to eat and drink and die. Can I die fat and happy? The Terminator.
I want you to stick around until the Bills win the Super Bowl.
You're telling me I just rooted for his team for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they lost. I wanted to kill myself. They lost again. I wanted to kill myself.
You might not want to be a Bills fan.
Honestly, I love you, bro. It's great having you on the show.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Solve all this tush-push and fourth down malarkey that goes on with the officials? Here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass in the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop you back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush-push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes. End of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
But is it just a matter of his contract, his age? Usually things like this get fixed pretty quickly, but this one is not fixed, and now it's just super uncomfortable.
The opportunity or the idea of getting another team involved adds more complication to the situation, and it doesn't seem like a resolution is anywhere in sight, but the more suspensions come in, the more it's clear that the saga is over, or his time there is over.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.